Barça have already conceded 6 goals in only 8 games this season, compared to last season's 20 in 38 games. The majority of the time, we played with a back 4 and at least 3 center backs when we were attacking. However, this season though, we've been playing with 2 center backs since the arrival of Cancelo, which have made it much easier for teams to counterattack us and score goals. Having Cancelo and Balde go up to create that numerical advantage that Xavi always talks about in the midfield and in the attack hasn't been working quite well. Even when we play against small teams like Celta Vigo, you can see how much we suffer. We get counterattacked so much because we leave so much space behind. But I've found the solution to this problem. You'll get to see it in not too long, so stay tuned. And I hope that Xavi will make these changes as soon as possible. Because if we keep playing with this kind of lineup, there is no way we're going to be able to beat the likes of Real Madrid, Bayern, and Manchester City. And even in the Champions League, a lot of teams that are not big teams, they can be very good in counterattacks. Okay, so here's the lineup I have created. And I believe that this is going to be our best lineup if Xavi ever tries to pull it. In this lineup, you'll notice that I have dropped Alejandro Balde and Oriol Romeu. Reasons are, Alejandro Balde, as much as he's good defensively, he doesn't bring you that much going forward. And for all the good things he brings, we have alternatives. As for Romeu, he's very good physically. He can recover a lot of balls, but he's not good enough to be a single pivot in Barça. And to me, him having to depend on another pivot like Frenkie de Jong or Gundogan, especially in the last game we watched in the Champions League against Porto, I think moving forward, we're going to have to drop him and play Gundogan by himself or with de Jong whenever he comes back. And I believe that this is going to bring you so much more solidity in the midfield. And especially since in this lineup we have 3 center backs, I personally believe that's going to be enough. Okay, so on paper, it's going to look like a 4-3-3. But I'm going to show you what it's going to look like when we are attacking, the build-up, and all that stuff. Okay, the lineup, you can see we have Koundé, not as a left back because he is not a left back. And I'm going to explain his role and everybody else's role. Koundé, Christensen, Araujo, Cancelo, all going to be our back 4. In the midfield, we can have Pedri or Gavi, Gundogan or Gavi or Fermin Lopez, de Jong, and our front 3 will be Felix, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal or Rafinha. Now, when we're attacking, Felix is going to move up here, just behind Lewandowski. Pedri will push up, and he's going to occupy this side of the field with Felix. So they're going to switch from time to time with each other. Gundogan will be a single pivot and most likely paired up with Frenkie de Jong. So I believe that de Jong would move to that side because here he can help so much. He can drop to the left when we need help, and he can also move up. We know Frenkie de Jong, he covers so much space. So having him here to compensate for what Balde was doing is going to be amazing. Lamine Yamal will push up and hug the lines. Cancelo, since the guy can't stay at the back, he's gonna have like a free roll. He's going to move up and help, even in this double pivot with Gundogan whenever de Jong is too high up. This is exciting, bro. This is exciting. If Xavi ever uses this format, we're going to be unstoppable. So yeah, Cancelo, he will move up high. He can even be the winger. Lamine Yamal can come inside, so he can help Lamine Yamal on the right side because Lamine Yamal is very young. Physically, he's not there yet. So Cancelo, being that he's so much more comfortable in the attacking role he has and in the midfield, giving him more freedom would be the best thing. And Araujo, he played as a right back, so he can come to the right a little bit. So whenever there's a counterattack, if Cancelo is not back, Araujo will occupy that right side. Christensen inside in the middle of the back three. Koundé as the other center back. But he would not have to go up too much. Maybe sometimes, because we saw him last season, he played as a right back. It's not his best position. So if I was Xavi, I would not put pressure on him to go up and stuff, because we want to keep three at the back at all times. When it comes to Pedri and Felix, like I told you guys earlier, they're gonna have a role to share between each other and they're going to play them interchangeably. Since Joao Felix is better at hugging the lines, he probably would have to do it more than Pedri, but I also think he plays better as the second striker than Pedri. So I think he should stay more here, and Pedri should just play in this entire space and sometimes come in and create a diamond with Cancelo, Gundogan, and De Jong. And when we get counterattacked, we're always gonna have three at the back, two in the middle, either De Jong or Gundogan, or Gundogan and Cancelo, because Cancelo, even though he's not great at defending, he comes back most of the time. And that way, we'll be safe. That's something that Man City does. If you look at their lineup, you'll see on the left, sometimes they play Vardio. He is not left back, he's a center back. So Koundé would have a role similar to him. And then in the middle, they have Diaz or Akanji sometimes, and they would have Ake. So usually they play with the back three of center backs. And it's important to know that Barça never really relied on two wingers, like even when Guardiola was here. So Lamine Yamal is more than enough. Felix being able to do it is more than enough. If we have all that creativity in the midfield and we keep it safe in the back, we have guys that can score so many goals, guys that can help. So for example, if we get counter-attacked on that right side, Koundé can move, Christensen can move, Araujo can move. So all the players can just offload to that side that we're getting counter-attack or controlled on, which is what the position game is. Each player play for each other. We all compensate for each other's weakness. Whenever someone is not back in time in their position, somebody else takes place. We've seen it before. For example, Koundé is a guy that likes to go up and play kind of like a midfielder. If he's too high and De Jong has the possibility to go back, he will. De Jong is a very good center back. So let me know, man. Let me know. To me, I think that's the best thing, because watching Barca these days, as much as we can be very creative going forward, I feel like we are too easy to get past. And whenever we get past, we get exposed. It's only two center backs. It doesn't matter how good they are. They're just never enough. But I would like to get your input. Leave them in the comments. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, make sure you leave a comment. If I left anything out, if you have an input, drop it. If you have a suggestion, let me know. I would love to know. And I'll see you all later. Peace, Barça.